Captain Amarinder Singh back in the saddle? It was either you would be sacked or you resign.
For instance, if had Ahmed Patel been alive, this would never have happened.
Where did Patiala Peg come from? Most don't see you so much as a congressman, but a man who stood by his state.
One has to speak a mind.
Some of them had said that, okay, now Captain Amarinder Singh is truly retired.
I'm back in the game now.
A tad modest with the lineage of being the Maharaja of Patiala.
If you want to form a government, then you have to do it with the Akali Dal. There's no other way of the BJP forming any sort of being part of any sort of government in Punjab.
Would Captain Amarinder Singh still be in the running for a chief ministerial face in 2027?
I stand with my party. I stand to fight for them.
Captain Saab, welcome, and it's a privilege to have you on our show, UnPolitics.
Thank you very much, Preeti. Thank you.
But Captain Saab, it is the nature of our show. I have very rich introductions for you, but the nature of our show is where our guest introduces himself to our listeners and our audience. What would Captain Amarinder Singh, in what way would introduce himself to our viewers?
I would say somebody who's has some very limited interests, but concentrated interests. I love gardening. I love writing. I love reading. But my reading and writing is a bit boring for people. For me, it's military history. And that has been my life all through because I was always in the army, and that was my one interest from childhood, to be part of that army. And then, of course, politics. But politics, I have been off it for the last couple of years because I was indisposed. But I'm back in the game now.
A tad modest with the lineage of being the Maharaja of Patiala.
Well, I never thought that way because I went to boarding school at the age of 4. And I was and when I left the army when I was 29, 30. So I had never lived a life of that sort, living in palaces or living elsewhere. Of course, we came on during holidays back home. But then, life had started changing. By the time I came back from school, or was in boarding school, independence had come. So then things started changing. So, gradually, I never really felt that way, and nobody even made me feel that way. My parents were very strict on that sort of subject.
If you have to pick one of being, you said you've never really felt that way, which is where your royal lineage comes into question, a politician and an army man, what would you pick?
For me?
Yeah.
Any day the army.
Any day?
Any day the army. And if I had to start again, I'd love to start again that way.
If you had to do it all over again, you'd never leave the forces?
I wouldn't leave the forces. I don't think I'd leave the forces. Having seen the life that this is, I say this too often to people, that, the army teaches you something which is very different to what you are in public life. For instance, in the army, you never tell a lie. And as a politician, you never tell the truth. It's as simple as that. So that's...
how did you balance the both there?
Well, I think when you've been through such a
economical truths.
Well, no, it's such a life, and then you've been that way, and you always. So I've lived that way. Therefore, I don't have double-faced ideas. What I feel, I say, and I think a lot of people like that.
No, that in that way you are correct because you've lived your life like that as a politician, where Punjab is concerned. I'll come back to that, Captain Saab, but. How are you feeling? You've been a bit of a sabbatical on health grounds. Is Captain Amarinder Singh back in the saddle? As a politician?
No, I'll tell you what happened. It's not that I didn't have this before I quit as Chief Minister. For a couple of years before, I was having this back problem, which started off during my army days. And it was I got caught in a sort of a snow slide, you can call it, or a small avalanche or something, and injured my back. And that after so many years, it started playing up. And then I found myself finding it difficult to climb the steps. Or when I was standing and speaking, I'd start getting pain and I had to cut short my speech. So then I thought, this is no good. So I went in for an operation. It's been settled. And I've done a test run. I've been to a couple of places in the last in the month or so. And I could do exactly what I was doing earlier. So I'm back in the fray.
So you're back in the fray, and those who had possibly written your retirement should take that back, because some of them had said that, okay, now Captain Amarinder Singh is truly retired.
But who says that? I don't.
You
I
don't. So you're back.
No, it's a question of, I think you are as old as you feel. And I don't feel old that I should now, hang up my sword and my boots and just say that this is the end of it. No. I think, I feel also indebted to Punjab. Punjab has given me a lot. They have always given me, this is my, twice to Parliament, 6 times to the Assembly, once as a minister, twice as a chief minister. What more can anyone ask for? And I think now that I owe it to Punjab to give whatever I can back to them. And that's why I want to go around and see what I can do to help whatever Punjab is going through at the moment.
Captain Saab, this was possibly my last question, but the way this conversation has started, let me, pick that up and ask you right up, front. So you're saying where 2027 elections in Punjab are concerned, you're going to be a prominent player there. Are you putting your hat in the...
Whether I stand or not is a different issue.
Right.
That is something else. But I think, yes, I will definitely support my party. There's no question of it not being that I won't do so. But apart from that, I will also, before the election start moving around and meeting my old colleagues and friends and all from the villages who have supported me. People have stood by me at the most difficult of times. Mm-hmm. And it's my time to stand with them.
But age notwithstanding, would Captain Amarinder Singh still be in the running for a chief ministerial face in 2027?
Can't say that. That is, of course, the party to decide. And it's too far off in any case. But it's up to the party to decide. It's not for me to decide. Physically, I'm fine. But then, of course, it depends on whatever the leadership thinks at Delhi. But that doesn't mean that I will say that you first announce me, then I will do something. That's not the point. I will go around, I will meet and a lot of friends. Not only, I'm not talking about friends and colleagues who have been part of my political setup, say within the government or whatever. But there are a lot of people who are simple folk who have problems. Mm-hmm. And I think if I can use my whatever little clout I have left to help them, that I'd like to do that.
Talking about the party you're associated with, Captain Saab, today is a party which possibly history stands testimony has never been able to understand Punjab, and Punjabis and Sikhs haven't been able to understand that political party, which is the Bharatiya Janata Party. So when you broke away from the Congress, you started your own political party and then you joined the BJP. A lot of Punjabis looked at Captain Amarinder Singh. We didn't think that you'd be doing that.
No, why I left... Mm-hmm. It was a very simple thing. There were rumblings here in the party. In fact,
within the Congress,
within the party. Though I tried to do everything I could for people and my colleagues particularly, but everyone's sort of demands start rising when you get into government. And the thing which I vehemently opposed was this sand mining business. Mm-hmm. And a lot of our people were involved in it. And I told them, no, don't do this, otherwise I'll have to take action. And when they didn't listen to me, then we had to set up a committee to go in to find out who was doing it. I had put the police on the job also. I put various people to locate it. And people got nervous. And there was a time that I heard these rumblings. So I went and saw the Congress president. And I told her, I said, ma'am, there's rumbling. Before we spoke, I gave her my resignation. And I said, ma'am...
this was prior to when you resigned?
Prior to my
your official resignation.
Absolutely. Yeah. Before my resignation, I had asked for time. She gave it to me. So I went there to Delhi. And I said, before we speak... She said, yes, I said, before we speak, ma'am, here's my resignation. She said, what are you giving this? Why? I said, because I'm hearing rumblings and I've got feelings that you all want a change in Punjab. If you want it, take my resignation, put anyone you feel like.
May I interrupt, Captain Saab? How much before, in the September of 2021, where you officially stepped down as Chief Minister?
About a couple of weeks before.
Couple of weeks before that. Okay.
And she said, no, And Rawat happened to be there, who was our general secretary. So she called Rawat. She said, Rawat, what is this I'm hearing? He said, मैंने नहीं सुना. मैंने कहा, कैसे नहीं सुना आपने? आप तो उसमें सब कुछ जानते हो कि क्या हो रहा है पंजाब में. So he said, नहीं, I will go and have a look. She said, Rawat, you go and have a look. And in the meantime, in this room, I was sitting when a group of about 6-7 ministers came here. And they wanted, we discussed the things, and I told them, I said, I did whatever I could for them. And when they went out, my principal secretary was coming there, came out of the car, and he met them. Now, they had been going to him every day and spending an hour or so with them, discuss the various problems of their ministries and the organizational matters, and started, every day have coffee, tea with him or something, and on another social level. So he made some sort of a remark that you come and get your works done, but you also must do something for Punjab. And so they lost their shirt with him, and they came in here and said, you sack him. I said, I'm not going to sack him. What for? I said, every day you're sitting with him, every day you're talking to him, every day you're doing these things. Now what has happened? He said something to this in this jocular fashion to them. So I said, no, I'm not. He says, either they go or we go. So I said, then you go. I said, I'm not going to sack my principal secretary.
They were your cabinet ministers.
They were my cabinet ministers. All of them, no, yes, I think they were all cabinet.
And
nothing. So then anyway, then a week passed, and I was sitting in the morning and reading the newspaper. And suddenly I get a call, and it's Mrs. Gandhi. She said, Brinda, I think you should resign. I said, fine, ma'am. I said, that's fine. I said, I'll take time with the governor today and resign. And that's what I did. And that was it. Now, I've been in government and politics for now over 60 years. Most of it was with the Congress. I left the Congress on 2 occasions only. Mm-hmm. One was when it was the Blue Star, mm-hmm. and that's it really. On Blue Star I left. Otherwise it was always with the Congress. Now, what was happening is that I felt a bit odd because I got a call from one of my colleagues early morning, before she called in fact. Okay, why have you called a CLP meeting? Now a CLP meeting can only be called by the CLP leader, which was me. And I had called no meeting. And I said, who's told you this? He said, all night telephone calls have been coming from Delhi to every MLA to be there at the Congress office at 4 o'clock. So what is it all about? So I said, I don't know what it's all about. Then a few minutes later, the call came. So I said, sure, ma'am, I'll quit. Now, you want to change? I had offered my resignation. You're welcome to change anyone, put anyone you like. What bugged me? Only one thing. And that was that having been 60 years in the Congress, my resignation could have been accepted. But why all the MLAs being called for a meeting to publicly sack me? That was going to happen. And that I said I'm not going to take. So I said, before that meeting takes place, I'll quit. And I asked the governor, I said, give me time in the morning. So I went and gave it to her.
So Captain Saab, what you're saying is that, before September of 2021, couple of weeks before that, you offered to put in your resignation for whatever reasons that they were right. At that point of time. At that point of time, Sonia Gandhi did not accept your resignation.
No, she didn't.
And then a couple of weeks later...
In fact, I must tell you something. When you come into that, after she said, I think you should resign, she says, I'm very sorry, Amarinder. I said, that's all right, ma'am. It's okay.
And then you were asked to step down because of what you just detailed.
Yes.
How much does it also have to do, Captain Amarinder Singh, that you went, sir, to the national capital trying to seek an audience with Rahul Gandhi, and at the same time you had a Priyanka Gandhi meet Navjot Singh Sidhu? Because I remember I was reporting at that point of time. No,
I didn't. In fact, I never discussed this with either of them. In fact, if you ask me, I have known Priyanka and Rajiv since they were little children, because Rajiv and we were schoolmates.
Yes.
And I knew them and we were friends and all that. But, there are two things. One are personal relationships and one are official. Say in the army, if I was very friendly with my colonel, but as a colonel, I was a subordinate and I had to follow every instruction he gave. So the same was here. I would never say that or question them. I haven't till today questioned them as to why did you take this decision. No, I've never done it. It's never been part of my life. Right from childhood, I've never done such things.
So, Captain Saab, you never tried to seek an audience with Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi?
No, never.
At the same time when she was meeting Navjot Singh Sidhu and a meeting was organized between...
Only time that Rahul once had a difference of opinion with me was on one question of one minister. I won't take his name. But he was in some sort of a controversy. And he told me, he said, you sack him. So I said, why should I sack him? He said, well, this is coming in the papers. So anyway, that conversation finished. A month later...
That was around the same time?
No, this is much earlier.
Much earlier.
So then he said, after a month I met him, he said, have you sacked him? I said, no. Why haven't you sacked him? I said, because it's not, these are just controversies which are thrown up and they come up in the black and white in the newspapers and everyone seems to believe it, but this is nothing true. There's no truth in it. And I told that minister also, I said, this is what they're saying. I'm going to take this on this issue with you. I don't agree with this. So again, a week or 10 days later, I met him and he said, have you sacked him? I said, no, I haven't sacked him. He said, then I'll tweet his sacking. I said, don't do that. I said, this is your party. If you're going to sack your ministers by tweets.
That was a ham-handed way of going about it.
So I said, I'm sorry, I don't agree with this. But I will ask him. Then I called him and I said, I'm very sorry. I told you that I have done my best. But this is what he says and we can't have a tweet to sack a minister. So I think you should resign. So he said, certainly. Within 5 minutes, he gave me his resignation.
Captain Saab, now correct me if I'm wrong. What is rumored is that it goes back, with you not getting along with Rahul Gandhi all the way back to 2015, at the time when Pratap Singh Bajwa was made the PCC president and you took over, and you had Rahul Gandhi who supported Mr. Bajwa. And that's where it all started.
No, not really. I don't think I've ever had any difference of opinion with either of the children, whether it is Rahul or Priyanka. No. In fact, I don't think I even met I met Priyanka probably once. And that was also, I'll tell you how, twice. Once when she came to campaign in Gurdaspur during the election, and we were in the same bus or truck or something going around. So I met her there. And once earlier, when I was launching my book, and I had come to ask Mrs. Gandhi to attend the book launch, and she walked in. So I said, Priyanka, if you are free on Friday or Saturday, whatever it was, I'm going to launch this book. She said, okay, I'll try and come. There's 2 times in my life I have met Priyanka then. Rahul, yes, I have met many times. But we never had any difference of opinion like this, no. In which he would say that I'm supporting so and so, I'm supporting not at all. If they made Bajwa, they could have left Bajwa. I had no objection to that. I didn't take an issue to say that you please remove Bajwa and make me. I never said that.
Why would then Priyanka Gandhi, Captain Saab, say that the Punjab government was working from the centre, where practically the BJP was running a Congress government in Punjab?
Absolutely incorrect. Look, when we are in government, we have to go to the union government for various issues. For instance, I went to the Finance Commission to ask for additional funds, and I got them. Who did I go to? That is a part of the Finance Ministry and the Government of India. Whenever I had any problem with the Home Department, we got drones coming in by the dozens. And I came to say, you better do something. Each drone is carrying an AK-47, 2-3 magazines, heroin, cash, whatever they were doing. I said, you're ruining my state. We are doing something. When there's something with the Prime Minister, you go to the Prime Minister. I went to the Defense Minister for issues. I'm talking about the Congress days. And I do it again now. As a Chief Minister, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to go and talk to the government who helps you and assists you. And I must tell you that I had no problem, neither with the Congress government and my colleagues there in the ministry, and neither with this government. Whenever I wanted something, I used to go. And my demands were very limited. It was for Punjab, and it was things like what I've said. If ever we were short of funds or we needed something to be done on any issue, I used to go to them. And my principal thing was both with him and the National Security Advisor. And was on this issue of drones. You know, there was a time when people used to come they crawled under the wire. Next time they used to just swim across the river. Then they started having a drone which just hopped from one bank to the other bank. And then they started going 7 kilometers out. In fact, there was one incident of one of my MLAs, not mine, but Punjab MLAs, not my party, where I got a call at 3 o'clock in the morning from my DGP that a drone has landed, and in front of this MLA's house, in the main gate, they buried a bomb. And pistols have been put somewhere else. And we look at getting the people in the bomb disposal people in the morning, sir. So I rang that boy up. Nice boy. His father was also at one time our speaker. And I said, look, you are not to go out of that gate. And this is 3 in the morning. I said, you go use some other entrances and tell your whole staff and lock that gate and don't till the army comes and clears it. So we are doing, these were the things which are happening. And when I left, from 7 kilometers, it had gone to 47 kilometers. We found 2 or 3 drones at 47 kilometers. And now they must be reaching Delhi. Because now you know what the drones are. You've seen Sandur, the way they were operating.
Captain Saab, we'll talk about, because Punjab is a sensitive border state and the current context of it. We'll talk about that, but I just want to, go back to the conversation. So what made, maybe not Sonia Gandhi, but what made Priyanka Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi believe that your government was being run by the center and therefore a change needed to be effected?
Well, I'm very sorry to think that they think this, because that's never the case. And never did they ask me anything, never did they discuss it, neither did the Congress president, nor did any of them. Either of them, and they could have asked me that, have you done this or have you done that? I would have told them what I had done. It was my job. It was not only me. I mean, whenever there was any other place, the finance minister, Manpreet Badal, he had a problem with the finance. He must have met the finance minister when he was finance minister here 30 times or 40 times. I don't know. Never used to ask me, we are going. I said, go. You have to work for the state.
Do you think it was the perfect storm against you at that point of time? You had the Aam Aadmi Party after 2017 coming up with a massive push. You had the likes of Arvind Kejriwal, Bhagwant Mann attacking you on the, not being able to manage the drug issue. And Sidhu. And you had an Navjot Singh Sidhu who constantly attacked his own party person in every press conference.
He did it to me.
That's what I'm saying.
And I had to tell him eventually that this is the way you're going to attack me, then I think you better. How it happened was this way. He had 2 portfolios. One portfolio was, I think, culture and tourism, and one was something else, some development portfolio. And he would every day in the newspapers give it out that the Punjab's power situation is bad, and you have to do something. This government is not doing anything. I said, look here, you are part of the government.
He used to constantly attack you. I remember.
How can you do this? So he said, no, sir, but as this. I said, all right, if you are so concerned about the power situation, as I am, and I want somebody who can handle it, I'll take those 2 portfolios away from you and I'll give you power. You take power. Power's with me. So I gave it to him. I said, take this. He never said anything, but he went and resigned. And so I said, fine, you want to go. But that is how that particular incident took place.
Did you see a larger...
But what the feeling probably was then, that the elections are around the corner. While Mrs. Gandhi was telling me you have to take the party into the elections, maybe a feeling was we built up to say there were many people there sitting in Delhi. For instance, if had Ahmed Patel been alive, this would never have happened.
You don't think it would have happened?
It wouldn't have happened.
Why do you say that?
Because I knew the term before, the same thing happened to me. In the first term.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. And they all went to Delhi. Mrs. Bhattal took the whole lot Delhi to get me sacked.
This and
was
Mrs. Gandhi 2002, 2007.
2002 to 7.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Gandhi told Ahmed Patel, you sort it out. And Ahmed Patel sorted it out and they all came back with their tails between their legs. And this is what but this chap doesn't know, couldn't understand it.
Which chap?
Whatever his name is. He's who replaced Ahmed.
K.C. Venugopal?
Venugopal. He was with me in Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
I was, Kharge was the leader, I was the deputy leader, and he used to sit next to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he understood. They didn't understand Punjab. And these chaps, he'd come new in it. Ahmed had been there for donkey's years. He knew everything.
So if Ahmed Patel was there,
I don't think
it wouldn't have come to this pass.
It wouldn't have happened.
It wouldn't have happened.
No, because Mrs. Gandhi didn't want it. She is the one who told me, no, what you brought your resignation for. Then somebody had to do it on her behalf. And she was apologetic, I must tell you. As I said to you, after she said, I think you should resign, she said, I'm very sorry, Amarinder. I said, ma'am, that's perfectly all right.
But you do go back a long way with Mrs. Gandhi, Captain Saab, because 2014, you didn't want to fight against Arun Jaitley. It was because she picked up that phone and
Absolutely
said,
correct.
do me a personal favor.
Absolutely correct.
And
No, it was not like that.
No?
It happened differently. She asked me to come and see her, that you go to Amritsar. I said, what do I know about Amritsar, ma'am? I can't fight Amritsar. You don't know Amritsar? I said, no, I don't. You've never been to the Golden Temple? I said, Golden Temple is not Amritsar. How can I go and fight that? So she says, okay, nothing. I was driving down to Patiala and near Panipat somewhere. This is many days after. Something had come controversial in the newspapers. And so she rang and she said, Sonia here, Amarinder. I said, yes, ma'am, one moment, I'll just get the driver to stop. So I got him to stop. I said, tell me what. She said, I need your help. I said, of course, ma'am, tell me what can I do. She says, I'm going to ask you something. You must help me. I said, what you're telling me? Anytime, anything you want from me, I'll turn the car around and come back if you want. So she said, no, you go to Amritsar. So I said, ma'am. She said, now you said yes, you go. So that was how I got caught up in Amritsar.
And you went and you won against Arun Jaitley.
Well, it was
a handsome
Arun and I are friends, let me tell you, even then. And when sometimes in the morning, he had a habit of waking up at 5 in the morning and going for a stroll. And then ending up at a chai ki hatti to drink tea there.
The both of you?
No, he.
He used to do it.
Then my chap said, he's getting up at 5 o'clock. I said, why are you making me get up at 5 o'clock in the morning? So they said, no, you better get up also. So one day I went and we met on top.
I told him, why are you getting up at 5? Yeah. Get up slightly later.
Chai piye jaake. So we both had tea together and then he went his way and I went my way. Then I heard just before the counting, I heard that he said he'd ordered 10,000 boxes of laddus. So I sent him a message. I said, I think things are not the way you ordered laddu. Can I borrow them from you?
What did he say? He had a sense of humor.
No, he had a sense of humor. And you know what happened after that?
Right.
He went to Rajya Sabha, I went to Lok Sabha. And I met him when we were going, he was coming out of the toilet, I was going into the toilet, so we met at the entrance. So I asked him, how are you, Arun? And how are you? And then we just stopped for a moment. He said, we should meet. So I said, let's meet. Now, I didn't know then, and which I came to know later, that he was a military history buff. And so we decided to meet on Saturday. This was Friday. We said, kal aa jao, coffee piyenge. So we went to his house. And then I used to go, once a week we used to go and we used to talk about military history, nothing else. I was Congress then, but he was BJP, but that was it. I find there's something wrong with our system. Look, I don't know if you've seen a picture called First Among Equals. Okay? Whatever your personal relationships are personal relationships and political are political. In India, it's something very different. When I came into Parliament, the other side, this was just 10 minutes before the House met. I was in the well and I saw General VK coming. And VK came and we hugged each other and I knew VK since he was a brigadier. And so maine kaha, so nice to see you. And then he came, to 2 Corps and then he was near Chief of Staff, 15 Corps in Kashmir. And then 2 Corps here. Then he used to come to Patiala often because Patiala was under 2 Corps. So we were very friendly. And after it was all over, not the leadership, but some of my colleagues said, why were you giving a hug? I said, I've known him since he was a brigadier. Why shouldn't I give him a hug? So that sort of thing is missing in our country. But when I was in my first term, once a week, 7 of us were ex-services. There was myself, General Sparrow, Rajesh Pilot. There was Jyotima Rai Basu. He was engineers from CPM. Then there was KP Singh Deo and 2 more. I can't just remember. 2 more, 7. Every once a week we used to meet at somebody's house for coffee or tea to discuss what can we jointly do to help the services. That was the way we used to function. And
Those days are long gone.
now nobody bothers about this. Nobody cares.
No, you are right. Yeah, I think that is that has shifted. I'll come back to the question, Captain Saab. So, for someone like you had the kind of relationship that you had with Sonia Gandhi, you went and fought an election.
No,
not
I
knowing-
still have. I have the utmost respect for Mr. Gandhi. I have. She's a wonderful lady. Her husband Rajiv was a very dear friend.
But do you regret she should have at least got your back at the time when you needed?
And the children. I have no animosity towards the children. I'm very fond of them. I've known them since they were that high. How would you expect me to say that I don't like them?
No.
One side is personal and one side is politics. Politics, if you ask me, I will go hammer and tongs for the BJP. But as far as personal life is concerned, I will always be there available to them if they ever need me. But personal life.
But is it a regret that maybe she should have stood by you at that time? She did apologize.
She's done enough. She couldn't have done more than she did for me. I was 6 times her MLA. Mm-hmm. I was twice her MP. I was once a minister, twice the chief minister. What more can you do? She can't do more than that.
That's quite lovely to say what you did, because at that point of time, in the manner in which you describe that you were let go of, it was either you would be sacked or you resign. That's with a lot of dignity.
But she didn't
that
do
you
it.
speak.
I knew.
Who did it, sir, then?
No, who were the ones who were anti me? There was a group which would do it. I told you some were from here, but in Delhi who was supporting, there were many. This Venugopal was one of them. Then there was Harish Choudhry. He was the biggest problem which I had. He used to come and he was a tail tatter. He was always here and conveying things. And then there was who were the others with him? I don't know. There were 1 or 2 others with him. Randeep Surjewala. For what reason, I don't know. His father was one of my very dear friends. And Surjewala was from Tohana, Nirvana, that area. That was part of Patiala State.
Sir. Yeah, yeah.
Patiala State ke the. And they were old Sardars. In those days, they called them Sardars, though they were Chaudhrys, but Sardars of Patiala. And it was an old relationship. And his father and I used to meet very often, which I don't know what happened to Surjewala. Anyway, everyone has their own opinions. So
but the fact is, you speak of a KC Venugopal, but he does have Rahul Gandhi's ear. So it was an ultimate decision was by Rahul Gandhi.
He may have done it, but they may have thought at that stage, that I was not going to bring the government. It would not come back. But this was their thought earlier also. Let me tell you, when the first time I took over and fought the elections, I got 63 seats and a couple of people joined us. So we are a majority. We formed a government. Next time, I got 46 and Badal got 42. Mm-hmm. But the BJP made their government. It was not that we were still the single largest party. Then the third time it came, I believe in Delhi, talk went around that the Congress is going to lose. And I got the highest ever, 72 seats.
2017.
And 17.
Yeah, 2017.
So then this things must have started again for the next election. Then nahi, haar jayenge, badal do nahi to. And how many did they get now? They've got 15 or 14 or something.
17, yeah. But the fact is that, the entire narrative that was spun at that point of time, that Captain Saab doesn't speak to his MLAs, Captain Saab is not taking any action against the drug mafia, all of that. There was a narrative which was built strongly against you.
When I came, drugs was one of my major issues.
Something which Bhagwant Mann till date says कि गुटका साहब की कसम खा के बोले थे कि हट.
That is all self-creation. What happened was I was near Bathinda. I was in Bathinda, close to Damdama Sahib, and I took up. Somebody had a gutka, so I said, "Gutka mein deo." I said, "I swear that I will break the backbone of this drug trade if you are brought to power," and that's exactly what we did. What I did was I brought one of my very fine ADGPs who was on the Naxal grid in Chhattisgarh. I asked him, Home Ministry, to send him back to me. And I created a SIT under him. And I have the figures with me. You can have them. We arrested nearly 100,000 people under drugs, out of which 67,000, I think it was, which were convicted. And we went hammer and tongs for these drug people. In fact, a time came when the jail department and one of those ministers who was in this room and was opposing me was the jail minister. And the jail ministers told us, where do we put all these people? We don't have place left in our jails. Then I told them, I said, okay, people with less crimes, maybe pickpockets or somebody, let them go. But these guys are not to go. All these druggies better stay in. And we got the real big fish. Big fish, we said, anybody who took more than was caught with more than 2 kilograms of heroin, which amounted to 11,000 rupees or something. Those guys are not to be left. I think I got about 30, 40 of them. I can give you the figures. And they were kept there. But we kept even the little ones. We didn't let anyone go. And the result was this, which again I'll give you the figures, that from 200 deaths on drugs every day, when I left the government, it was down to 14 in a year, from 200 to 14. So because the drugs were being reduced, so the deaths also went down.
So basically, the narrative building was very strong at that time against you.
Sorry?
The narrative building was very strong against you at that point of time.
At that, yes, but the gangsters had come in. Gangsters also, we had a lot of trouble with gangsters. The police had to shoot many. They were, wherever they laid down their arms, otherwise they were shot. And that had to be done. Now look at the gangsters.
True.
Every second day they are roaming around. And now the drugs are coming in, but much larger. See, drugism, drug business and gangsterism are hand in glove. And weapons are coming from Pakistan.
I'm going to take 2 more questions and reflect on, because you've never been a congressman, but you've been with the Congress. I think for many would suggest that you've been a Punjab person. You've stood by Punjab and nobody else. Some would suggest you stood by yourself, you've done your own bidding. But a lot of people who you speak to in Punjab, Captain Saab, say that he was his own man, but he's done everything for Punjab, be it at the time with what you did with the water treaty or, quitting the Congress after Blue Star. So, all of that aside, but where the Congress party comes into question, Captain Saab, the fact is, there was usually what was understood was that loyalty was rewarded. Rebellion was always quelled.
Should I tell you since when I've been with the Congress? Since Panditji's days. Panditji my parents are very close. My father, after Nawab Sahib Bhopal, he was the Chancellor of the Chamber of Princes. He opted for being independent. And my father was saying, no, we must merge with the country, otherwise we cannot survive 540 of us.
Yes, I read that, yeah.
And that 540, we cannot live on our own. And the first one to merge was Patiala, but that's a separate part. But he became Chancellor, then this country, all the states merged, went along with him. And the people who used to meet was Panditji, my father, Jinnah, and Sardar Patel. These was normally the people who used to meet to discuss various issues. So Panditji became quite very friendly with us. And whenever he came to Dehradun when we were in school, he would take Rajiv and Sanjay out, and he would take us out also, both of us. Mrs. Gandhi came, she'd do the same. When my mother went, she'd take them out. And so we had a very close relationship. In fact, when Mrs. Gandhi was going through a very difficult period after her divorce, she came and stayed with my mother in Chile for about a month and a half. And so it was to that extent. Where they split was only on when the Congress split. And my mother was then said, I don't agree with you, Indira. You are ruining the Congress. And then she went and joined the Congress O, with Morarji Desai, Udhar. So that time, Mrs. Gandhi got upset with her. But then my mother was very hot-headed. It was my grandfather, my Nana was very, very sort of a hot-headed person. So was she. She used to be having a mind of her own. But it was a very amazing thing, because when I was in the Congress party from Punjab MP, she was BJP MP from Himachal. So we used to meet in the Central Hall often. No, we stayed together also, but we meet otherwise. And whenever Mrs. Gandhi came into the hall, passing through, she'd see my mother, she'd come and sit with her and have a cup of coffee with her. So they kept that going. But my mother never went to a house till the day she was killed. then she went to pay her respects. That was the only thing. So that was the relationship we had with the family.
You grew up with Rajiv Gandhi in Doon School. How was that?
Rajiv was a year junior to me. Kashmir House, I was Tata. But he and my brother were together. But Rajiv was he was a thorough gentleman, very fine man. And he was, in fact, we became very friendly. And then I went to the army, he went to the civil aviation.
There used to be no talk of politics in school.
No, not then. Of course, we used to meet often. In fact, I remember one day I had come from somewhere and I was tired or something, and Sonia said, "You all look tired." So I said, "I've just come from something." So she went and got me a sandwich to eat, that sort of thing. It was that in a little room he had, but he had all done up with music systems and all that. So from that angle, one was very friendly. Then when I came back I left the army and came into politics, then we started meeting more often. And when Sanjay died, I was one of those who managed to persuade him against lots of people's wishes to go and fight from Amethi.
Oh, you were one of those people who actually...
And there were 4 of them, us, and I had the Fursatganj area under me. Then there was Vishu, he had one section. Sanjay had Amethi, and there was one other person. 4 of us had, I'll tell you who he was. He's from Lucknow, that boy. Anyway, these 4 of us had one section each. And, well, it went off very well, and he got a massive mandate from there.
You do go back a long way. That is, and it's very nice, despite of all that has gone down, that the warmth that you still have for the family.
Of course I have a warmth. So for Mrs. Gandhi today, she asks me that, Amarinder, I need some work from you, I'll go and see her.
If she says, Amarinder, come back to the party.
That I can't.
That you can't.
I think now I'm 83 years old. I have done a lot. I have been, as I said, you should see that picture. First among equals, that the people are very friendly with each other, but they go according to where their party wants. And I have made up my mind. I have known the Prime Minister now for many years, and he's fond of me and I'm fond of him. But that's okay. So, but once I've given my word, I can't go back on my word. I never took that word back of the Congress, that they pushed me out. So here I have given my word. We formed our own party, but I'll tell you why we merged. We merged because the Prime Minister had been telling me that, not the Prime Ministers, other people, that in this Punjab today, you can't have a third force emerging. It won't work. So we waited for a while. We tried, but it didn't work. Then everyone said, let's go to the Congress. So it was a collective decision to the BJP.
But Captain Saab, is it more because, when you speak of the BJP, you speak mostly of the Prime Minister as well? Is this union more with the Prime Minister than the party?
I still don't know anyone. Forget about anyone. I don't go and meet anyone. I'll tell you who I met, and you can understand. I met the Prime Minister, Home Minister, the Defence Minister, and Mr. Shekhawat. I don't know what he's holding portfolio, but he was in charge of the election.
Captain Saab, many say if you met the first 2, which is the Prime Minister and the Home Minister, that's enough.
Unke hain bas. But otherwise, I don't know. Of course, I know, like Scindia, I know because he was Congress too. But otherwise, I don't know how many people there are there. If I bump into somebody, I won't know who he is.
We'll talk about the party and Punjab because there's a bit of a dichotomy where the BJP comes into question and Punjab and Punjabis. But, you have a very interesting story that you were telling us, of you meeting the Prime Minister.
Yeah, that was a very interesting thing because I didn't know the Prime Minister then. There's a Hind Samachar group here. Every month they used to distribute blankets to refugees from Kashmir or jahan se bhi aate the.
And how far back was this?
I was PCC president in the 90s, I think.
Okay.
30 years ago or so.
So then at that point of time, Prime Minister Modi was not even Chief Minister Modi then.
No, he was Prabhari of Punjab.
Right.
Of Punjab, and I was the PCC president.
Acha, so he was Punjab Prabhari BJP in the 90s and you were PCC president.
And I was here. And so when I went to this function, there was a gentleman sitting next to me. I didn't know who he was. So I got up and I made my speech and I lamp-pasted the BJP. And I naturally had to do that. I was the Congress president. So afterwards, they said, Punjab ke prabhari baat karenge. Then I said, and he got up. So I said, this must be Modi then. I don't know who he is. So he got up and he gave a very nice speech. And he then tells me afterwards, I said, Modi ji, you spoke well. He said, हाँ आप भी अच्छे बोले पर वो जो आपने बातें की ना वो बातें
You must be embarrassed.
ये माहौल ठीक नहीं था. हाँ मैंने कहा आपकी बात सही है गलती मेरे से होगी. This is a different type of atmosphere. So then he became chief minister. I became chief minister. Then he became chief minister. I became Congress president again. That must be that Bajwa time you're mentioning. I don't remember that now.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, he became prime minister. I became chief minister. So we've known each other since the 90s. And he's always very nice to me. He's nice. The home minister is nice. Whenever I go for Punjab, he's always there to be of assistance. And defense minister I went because I didn't agree with their policy of this new thing they've done for the Jawans. This
Agniveer.
Agniveer.
Yeah, you were very vocally.
I think that's absolutely a wrong thing. And I told the defense minister, I said, look, when I joined the army, one striper was 11 years service.
Mm-hmm.
And three striper would be 17 years. And a Jamadar, in those days, Jamadar, now Naib Subadar, they call them, he would be about 21, 22 years service. Here, in 4 years, you're finishing his training, finishing and retiring him. What do you think he's going to do? What job is he going to get, number one? Secondly, he's going, in Punjab at least I know, he will become ready fodder for terrorist groups. And
Captain
what are you doing?
Being an army kid, I agree with you, but the government maintains that the Agniveer scheme is a huge success.
I don't agree with this. This is not a way to, this is ill treatment of the army, if you tell me that. This is no way to treat regiments. I mean, a man of 1 year service, 4 year service, we used to call them young soldiers.
Yeah.
We didn't call them anything else. And here, a young soldier is being retired. Before he's even got into he knows what the regimental ethos is, what is our history, what is our traditions. He knows nothing. He's out again.
No, like I said, with an army background, I agree with you, but the government, you're part of the party now, maybe you should give feedback.
No, it's okay. But as I said, one has to speak your mind.
True. I think one thing you've done is always spoken your mind.
I've always spoken my mind. I've always felt what should be said would be said. Like I say about this chap. As if anyone else, now the Supreme Court.
Which chap, sir?
This officer who's gone and said, I will not go to the religious. These fellows, I don't know. He comes from a very fine regiment. And a man like that, to say this, you belong, when you join as an officer, you belong to the religion your men belong. If I joined a Muslim regiment,
True.
Let's say if I was in 4 Grenadiers, they have Muslim troops, I would be a Muslim. I would say the Nawaz with the troops. I would do everything there with the troops. I would do the same if I joined your regiment, the Dogras. I would go and go to the Dogras and do exactly the same what they do.
True.
What did my officers do? My CO was a Dogra. Jarnail Singh. One of my company commanders was Sam Chingappa, he was a Christian. One was a Hindu, Major Kale. One was a Sikh, Major Balwant Singh. MC Singh was a Brahmin. Everyone went to the Gurdwara, everyone did everything. What is this thing? I mean, they should not only sack that fellow, they should deal with him properly.
Those strong words. But, coming back to the party that you are a part of now, Captain Saab, and this is the question I asked you earlier. BJP has been a party that at least hasn't been able to understand Punjab. And electorally, there is, been evidence to suggest the same. And Punjabis haven't been able to understand the BJP.
But I'll tell you why. It's unfair to say that because, or let's say, the earlier leaders of the BJP went wrong. What they should have done was you should fight every election that comes. You can't run away from a battle. You should fight if, let's say, the first was 1950. Okay? BJP should have put up whatever number seats there were. And then as elections come, every seat you should fight. Then you build up your cadres. Now what they were doing, they were having 10 people or 15 people fighting in alliance with the Akali Dal. So the Akalis used to benefit from them, and they never benefited from anyone. And today, if you are facing this crisis, it's because you have never built up your cadres.
But for a party where the core ideology is Hindutva, how does that cut any electoral ice in
Well, if they
Punjab?
want to win to this time, see, it's then they will. There are two ways of looking at it. Either you build up your cadres, or you have an alliance and form a government. If you want to form a government, then you have to do it with the Akali Dal. There's no other way of the BJP forming any sort of being part of any sort of government in Punjab. Or if you want to build up your cadres, then be prepared for 2-3 elections to fight all 117 seats.
What would you
seats
advise
on
them
your own.
this time around?
Sorry?
What would you advise them this time around? To join
I
the
think
Akalis?
Punjab needs governance, good governance, and it needs you. Why are we late just now? Because the electricity was off. We are getting 8-9 hours, 9 power cuts every year. How can industry come here? Who will come here and work like this? I mean, there are so many things that Punjab can do, but we can't do it because we don't have this government is not serious in its whole. And you got to have a government that can really be serious and go about it and have a good government to govern.
But so, for someone who knows
So
Punjab...
I would say that yes, you must have an alliance.
Must
they don't
have
like
an alliance?
It. Yeah, they won't like it. A lot of people don't like it when I say this, but I think it's if you want to form a government. If you don't want to form a government, then there's nothing. Then you fight all the seats.
So what you're advocating is an alliance with the Akalis.
With the Akalis. The Akalis, there are also 3 Akalis that we have to see.
You have to
3,
pick
4
one,
Akalis.
the strongest of the
You
lot.
have to choose. Well, the ones, when you come nearer the election, you'll know which one is dominating. And then you talk to them and do it. I told, this time I had it. In the parliamentary election, I got Sukhbir here. He came to me. And I told Delhi that I'll talk to him and let's see, we must get some seats. So we agreed on 3 seats first. Then they said 4 seats. They gave Patiala also. Patiala was not part of it. That means 4. Then I said, no, you give me Chandigarh also. Manish is wanting to fight from there. You give Chandigarh. So they agreed on 5 seats. Okay, to me. Sukhbir agreed. So I rang up Mr. Nadda and I told him 5 seats pe maan gaye. That evening they were meeting. So when he mentioned this to the Home Minister said, "Meri Sukhbir se baat kara do." Sukhbir se baat ki. In the meantime, Sukhbir must have discussed it with some very close colleagues, and they must have said, "No, you can't do this. Where will our people go?" And all. Sukhbir told the Home Minister, "Nahi ji, I can only agree on 3. Otherwise, and what have we got now? We've got 1 seat for Punjab, Harsimrat Kaur. That's all. There's nobody else from Punjab who can carry our voice there to people, to the House. And had we won those, got together, we would have got at least 7 or 8 seats. Akalis and we would have won. And then at least Punjab's voice would have been heard.
So you're talking about the Lok Sabha elections.
Lok Sabha
you were
election.
talking... but why I say that the BJP hasn't been able to understand Punjab, at the back of even the flack that you got for joining the BJP, is the same government that put in the farm laws, that put the farmers through, nearly 2 years of abject misery, which you were the one who raised that cause right in the beginning. There, you raised that
I, in fact,
banner.
allowed them to go to Delhi.
Exactly. I agree with that. And then, do you see a lot of people see that as a betrayal of you, going to the BJP, despite of all of that?
No, but the BJP, the farmers were against the BJP only on some issues. If those issues had been resolved, this problem wouldn't have arisen.
It would not have risen.
No.
Second thing, Captain Saab, I'll give you another example. There was the whole talk that in the winter session, there will be a constitutional amendment to the effect to bring in Chandigarh in the ambit of Article 240.
Look, how many commissions are you going to have in this world for solving a problem? Take this issue of Chandigarh. Chandigarh, when Lahore went, we went to Simla. Okay? From Simla, Panditji and Sardar Pratap Singh Kairo, Chief Minister, decided Chandigarh naya capital bana do, Punjab ka. So Punjab ka capital banna tha Chandigarh. Then, in the meantime, what happened? We formed this government here. And then the division of the state took place. You got Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, and us. Now, the point is that if you get a capital which is made for a particular state, If some other state wants to break away and go, then you don't take your capital, the other capital with you also. I mean, that is Punjab's capital. And if you want to build it, they had decided. What was the decision? The decision was to make Rohtak for Haryana and Simla for Himachal. Simla to pehle hi tha, unko ne bana liya, Rohtak nahi banaya. Now that's part of the Punjab Reorganization Act. That's part of the Rajiv Longowal Accord. You've made commitments at the national level by our Prime Minister. So regardless of which government comes into power, a prime ministerial decision taken at that level should be honoured. And they should have done this and finished it long ago.
So you're completely against Chandigarh coming into the ambit of Article 240?
Absolutely, it is ours. This is ours and our water is ours. Now water, why is the water, Punjab has our water, whatever it is, and at the time of the division of Pakistan and India, and some water went there and some water came here. Now you have taken the quantum of water which is with current Punjab, you have taken Satluj, Beas and part of Ravi, okay? Part of that water at pre-elections, pre-partition was also the Yamuna. Tajewala Headworks. That was the Yamuna water which was being used in the western part of Punjab, which was Haryana now. But that they never took into context when they had this division being made. Why not? And when we said that you've got enough water, Haryana has 60-40 was the division. It's got more than 60% water when you join the Jamna water into it. So हमारे से क्यों ले रहे हो? We've got no other water. This side, the Jamna has gone to Haryana. The other waters of Satluj and all have gone to Haryana or Ghaggar. And that side is in Pakistan. Then where are we stuck in between?
Captain Sir, where water is concerned, you've taken a very hard political stand at one time, even against your own government. Now, everyone remembers that. But, when I come back to the BJP, not understanding, Punjab, where the farm laws issue happened, then again there was talk of 240, Article 240, which you're saying you're strongly against, because then Punjab will lose claim over Chandigarh. Then, there was the Education Ministry coming in trying to dilute the Senate of Punjab University, where nominate instead of elect members.
These are the things happening. Now, for instance, on this issue of the university was Punjab University, which was in Lahore. It's come here. And it's always been here. And the Chancellor has always been the Vice President of India. So what's your problem? And there's
that's
no
your
problem.
own party. You have to ask your own party what's the problem.
No, I don't agree. No, that's why I'm saying I don't agree with these things.
You don't?
I think this is unnecessary. And what about here? What you want to make Chandigarh a union territory within Punjab? I like say Lakshadweep or something like Lakshadweep or the Andaman Islands. We are a full-fledged state. We are a state with a great history and a great tradition, and we were the ones that have lost out everything in the partition. I have a letter from my father written to the Prime Minister there that you are totally destroying the ethos of Punjab, and by giving all the Punjab Sahib and Nankana Sahib and all that area, which was very rich, which was West Punjab, they used to call it in those days, giving it away to Pakistan. So these sort of things, and suddenly, from a big room like this, you suddenly become Punjab, which is stable. And then that also you want to make us a union territory.
That's an insult. One thing is clear, you don't mince your words, even if it is against your new party. So,
No, it's not a party. I'm sure the party understands what I'm saying. They maybe
clearly they don't understand it, sir, because it's one blunder after the other.
Well, they have to make that change. Otherwise, they'll have trouble again. How many times do you want trouble in Punjab? What are the things? What created the terrorism? What brought about Blue Star? Anandpur Sahib resolution. What was the Anandpur Sahib resolution? It was more powers to the states, federal structure of the states. And those states, you are even diluting them further. So you will find that again terrorism will grow, trouble will start. What is the point?
That's a big statement.
60 years person, I'm sitting here who's been in this nitty-gritty of Punjab politics. Don't you think that I can contribute something? You just have to ask me to come and please explain what my views are. Nobody asks us.
Nobody asks you?
No. Nobody asks. Who is going to give you? Mr. Bittu is going to give you the information on Punjab. He was a little boy who I made into the party president here. And who else? Sirsa. Sirsa is a man from Haryana, and his politics has been Delhi. So he's going to advise you on Punjab politics. This is what I'm saying. That this
or
is
Mr. Jakhar, who's also
these are things that we should be. We are all there for our state. We are not living forever, but whatever we have experience is there
needs
for
to be
us
utilized.
Sorry.
It needs to be utilized. You're right.
Yeah, we should be able to tell them, yes, call us, ask us, see who can give you what advice, and then you make up your minds. But if you don't call us and you don't ask us, then what are we to do?
You speak about Operation Blue Star, Captain Saab, and I was reading something and I was astounded because you did seem to indicate that there was a possibility that everything could have been sorted out with just sheer dialogue. You're also looking at writing a book on it.
I am writing a book because there are only 3 of us left of that period from Punjab politics. There's myself, there's our former speaker, Amarinder Singh, he's with the new Akali Dal which has been formed, and Mr. Sucha Singh Chotipur, who was also minister. Earlier, we were colleagues together. Ravi was our speaker. He was a minister of state. I was minister of agriculture and rural development in the Barnala government at that time. So we are the only 3 left now. The others have all gone to the happy hunting grounds. So now it's time for us to, whatever our history is. I've read a lot of these books which have come out from various people, but none of them have been in the nitty-gritty of it. Now, what happened to me, I'll tell you my case. When the Anandpur Sahib resolution was written, Mrs. Gandhi handed it over to Jarnail Singh to negotiate with the Akalis and find out what can be done. He took Comrade Harkishan Singh Surjit and Balwant Singh, who was the finance minister, as his team. And he had one commitment from Mrs. Gandhi that whatever you decide, I will honor it. Now something happened. Now I don't remember the issue and never came up for discussion. It came up and he said yes to the Akalis and Mrs. Gandhi said, I can't do it. So he quit. I was sitting in the Central Hall of Parliament and I was sent for by Mrs. Dhawan that Mrs. Gandhi wanted to see you. She was in a parliamentary office. So I went and she said, you know Longowal? I said, yes, ma'am. How do you know him? Well, he comes from my mother's villages, Giridhyani. He's from that part. Do you know Bhindranwale? I said, no, ma'am. She said, but you must be knowing him. I hear you know him. I said, I don't know him. He's a Sidhu. I don't know, millions of Sidhus. I don't know every Sidhu in the whole thing. I don't know him. That's our caste Sidhu. So he said, she said, can you make contact? I said, yes. So I'd made contact with him. And I kept talking to him for a long time. I had gone earlier to his village. In fact, I've repeated this before also. He called us at 10 o'clock to his village. And he didn't come till 3 in the morning. It was January, it was freezing cold. So I had nowhere to go, so I got into Bhindranwale's bed and went to sleep. And
what are the odds of that?
It was in his, it was in his house was in a little house in Rodi village. So anyway, that was over. And so we kept talking like this over the next many years. This I'm talking about when I
got into Bhindranwale's bed, then what happened? Complete the story.
No, then at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Did he come
4 o'clock in the morning, my brother was there. And
right.
So was Comrade Rajiv Gandhi Singh Man, who was Simranjit Singh Man's father.
Right.
So my brother shook me and I looked up and I saw Bhindranwale. I said, well, Sanchi, you told me 10 o'clock, it's damn cold, so I had no other place to go. I got your bed and I went to sleep in it. So he was nice about it. Anyway, we kept meeting all throughout and I kept telling them, you are heading for a crisis. Because I could see it.
You forewarned.
By that time, Jarnail Singh had come to them. And I must have had about 10-15 meetings with Bhindranwale and with Longowal many times. And I used to go to Guru Nanak Niwas, where he used to live on top and Bhindranwale used to live underneath. All night firing was going on when I was there. And we used to go by a aircraft the government provided. And Ravi and I used to go. Ravi used to go to Longowal and I used to go to Bhindranwale, and then we used to meet up at Longowal's room. And I used to tell him then that when I went back, I used to see them cutting into the marble, and I could they were making bunkers for machine guns. And I told them, I said, this is a proper military strategy. Peg is known to be for somebody who understands urban warfare. And he's doing it exactly this way. And I'll tell you, after the whole thing was over, 10, 12 days later, I went. So I went particularly to one of the bunkers where the LMGs were. And I must tell you, there were nearly 1,000 weapons total, not in that bunker. In that bunker, when I went, there were empties lying over. And my empties up to my ankle.
Oh Lord.
So where did those...
The weapon...
there's a 9-part serial made by one of our eminent journalists who covers Sidhu, and he's shown the weapons in the end. There were nearly 80 light machine guns. There were about 300 AK-47s, 315s, and 7.62s.
You saw them physically?
On the pic. No, I didn't see them,
right.
But the film, I've seen the film. And similarly, there were nearly about 700-800 pistols. Overall, about 1,000. And that's about what one infantry battalion has.
True.
So that is it. And where did that ammunition come from? Who brought it in? Who didn't bring it in? What was the government of the day sleeping? What was the chief minister doing? Darbara Singh. Mm-hmm. Now, what was happening? I believe it was Darbara Singh behind it. And why I believe it? Because we were all gunning for Darbara Singh, that this man is taking Punjab into the drains. And we are going to be in a terrible mess.
So you're saying it was state-sponsored?
He may be a Sikh, but he doesn't understand the Sikh psyche of the time, which was becoming militarized by Bhindranwale and all. And you better get somebody else to run it. And he knew that if there was disturbed conditions, the history of Mrs. Gandhi was such that she never changed horses in midstream. She would just wait for normalcy to come, then she would change. So he wanted the pot to be boiling, kept boiling. And how did it go in? They say the car seva ho rahi thi, car seva trucks mein. Can you take a battalion load of weapons and ammunition into that? Every time you pull the trigger of an LMG, you get 28 rounds have gone. Where did all that ammunition come from? Where did the weapons come from? Has anybody tried to analyze that? And there, how many people died? How many of our soldiers were injured? All shot. The man, Shabeg Singh, put them on fixed lines at a level where you hit somebody in the legs. Object was that wherever the entrance is to come, let them fall on the ground. Don't kill them if necessary. Let them lie there so that people can't get through that entrance. So it was a well-planned whole business there. Now these sort of things, they have to understand that, that's why I thought that these are things that I will ask. And the government should, even times have passed, doesn't matter, find out where those weapons came from. You can't get 1,000 weapons in there. And they are collected by you, by the government. It's there. The pictures are there. And I'm sure they are all registered and put in some court or the other. Somewhere they are being kept there. But
it's quite amazing because you are writing a book. And you also mentioned that a couple of times Rajiv Gandhi did try and meet Bhindranwale. And
yes,
of course,
twice. With me. In fact, he called me. And he called me and he said, can you fix a time?
He used to call you?
Who?
Rajiv Gandhi would call you Viju?
No.
Okay.
He called me.
Okay.
He called me and he said, Amarinder, can you fix this? I said, I'll try. So I asked him, and he was quite willing to come. And we agreed to meet. So I said, where? He said, I'll talk to. When I told him that he was agreeable, it was their government, so they must have told IB or whoever they were. And arrangement was made to meet at the Ambala Air Force Station. And he wanted to be close to Punjab. And by that time, he had not yet gone into the Golden Temple. Once he went into Golden Temple in July 82, he never came out. This was some time before that. Because I took over this job in the winter session of Parliament. That was December, January, that time. So we left the house and we hadn't even got to the Safdarjung airport. We had taken, the aircraft which we were taking was Swami Dhendra Brahmachari's puller pusher. He had a puller pusher. Puller pusher means there was a propeller in front and propeller at the back. And we hadn't even got to the aircraft when a message came, come back. So we went back and nothing. I asked him, he said, some controversy started, something or the other. So I didn't question him on that. The Sant got a bit upset actually that मुझे बुलाया है नहीं हुआ. After about 2-3 weeks, he again asked me, he says, can you fix it again? I said, well, this time don't cancel it. He said, no, we won't cancel it. Fixed it, he came again, and we flew. And we were just short of Ambala when a wireless message came through to come back. So we went back again. And that was the last that Rajiv, these two incidents took place. But I met him right up to, I think, early 83. Mm-hmm. Then I told Mrs. Gandhi, I said, now I have done this for you for 2 years. I think you need fresh blood and fresh mind in it, because this it's becoming a bit stale for me. And that fellow also is now getting a bit, as time passed, he got more, and more people came and supported him. So his morale went up. Earlier on, he was willing to talk. Then by that time, he had become, chaps like Shabik Singh saying this, that don't worry, the moment the army comes in, Pakistan will come in, and all that sort of stuff.
So it just got amplified.
Usual things going on.
So the reason why Indira Gandhi was the one who thought that maybe Rajiv Gandhi would get ambushed. So therefore she called off those two meetings.
What happened was, intelligence bureaus always comes to know. Now the IB of Punjab intelligence must have come to know, and they must have informed them. And or the Prime Minister, Chief Minister must have told them to inform them that आपके लिए ambush लगा है, आपको मार देंगे. अच्छा, Sanjay had just died. So
she was on edge.
Naturally on the mother, this must have had an impact.
You say, Captain Saab, that Indira Gandhi was somebody who would never change horses midstream. She would wait for a placid period before effecting that change. What do you make of what's going on right now within the Congress? There is an entire turf war raging in Karnataka midstream, which is exactly midstream. It's 2.5 years in the Ramayana.
Don't ask me to comment on the Congress. Firstly, I
because
don't
it's happened with you. It's happening there. It happened in Madhya Pradesh. It happened in Chhattisgarh. It happened in Rajasthan.
Well, good luck to them the way they are functioning, because Congress has had a very great history. You mustn't forget that, from the days of well before partition and all. They are the ones responsible for India's independence partly. So that is an unfortunate thing that it's happening to them, but then that's their internal affairs. They have to do it.
All right. So it's also a bed that they've made and they need to lie in it, I guess.
And one sometimes I do read to find out, keep track of where the old party is going, but it becomes let's say I don't interfere, and I have already made a commitment. Once you make a commitment, you can't get out of that.
Have you spoken to Miss Gandhi ever since when she said she was sorry? That
message, no.
After that?
After that, nothing.
Nothing? You haven't heard from her in now 4 years?
No, nothing to do. No conversation, no nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I would not at all mind talking to her. That's not a hassle. I mean, if she rings me tomorrow and say, Amarinder, how are you? I would have a chat with her. If she doesn't feel well and I feel that things are not right, I'd certainly call her.
You're going to pick up the phone.
Call and ask her. That's not a problem. I don't believe in this business of, isolating yourself. Your commitment is to your party politically. But my friendships are my friendships. And that's different.
Just last 5 minutes, Captain Saab. What are your views of your incumbent government, which is the Aam Aadmi Party? Do you think that they're in the reckoning for a second term?
These chaps.
Yes.
If these chaps ever get in, I'll quit politics.
You'll quit politics?
Because I can't imagine, with all my experience, that I can convince myself that they'll come back.
You don't see them coming back?
No question of it.
Why?
It's a total dumb party, dumb leadership. Everything is dumb in them. What is that? Tell me, have you ever heard of a system where the chief minister is just a figurehead, only available for television?
Many would say programs? The BJP is like that.
Like Captain you invite him or somebody else invites him for an invite.
But Captain Saab, many say the BJP is like that, where the chief ministers are just figureheads. Be it,
well, I haven't seen that.
They'll give examples of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh.
I haven't seen that happening here, but I can tell you about my thing here. You've had various types of governments in the past, some good, some bad. I may also mention our own bad one, like Jarnail Singh's government. But the fact is that, You can't have a government where the chief minister is just a figurehead showing his face.
Especially in Punjab.
And you send two people from Delhi, one Sisodia and one other fellow who slapped that MP, lady MP. And on top of that, you have the important files being sent to Delhi for Mr. Kejriwal to decide on. What is this government? Is this the way to run a government?
So
I mean, I can tell you in my 9.5 years as chief minister, not once has anyone even asked me to do anything in Punjab, Punjab's economy or Prime Minister, yes. Many times, and he was very happy the way things were going. Dr. Manmohan Singh, he was I never had any trouble with, and they never told me what to do. It was left to me to do. And if we had meetings, yes, sometimes in a discussion something would come up and I'd say, yes, I've noted that and we'll make this correction. That's all.
Many say that's old school politics. Things have changed. But Captain Saab, this on a lighter note, you come from Patiala. Somebody actually asked me at work that I must ask you, where did Patiala Peg come from? What is a Patiala Peg? What is the origin of a Patiala Peg?
Well, my Patiala Peg was an interesting story.
Huh.
You know, my grandfather, the one in the middle there,
right there,
he was chairman of the cricket board.
So Patiala Peg has been coined by your family.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
It was the cricket board. And after that, my father was cricket board. But before he was cricket board, my father captained India from 32 to 35. And then 35, my grandfather got ill, so he had to leave cricket. But my grandfather had the Australians come here. And they came to Patiala. And Amarnath was a young boy. Amarnath told me this story. And he said, we were called and we were said, look, boys, go and have your dinner and get to bed. And I want to see you in bed by 8 o'clock. And then he told the other Sardars, he said, Jere Australian, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦਬ ਕੇ ਪਿਲਾਓ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ. And so they were given a lot of booze to drink till 10 at night or 11 at night. So next day when the match started, they were seeing 2 balls coming and 3 balls. That's really, so that was they were given whiskey like this.
Achha, so this is a Patiala Peg.
This is the Patiala Peg with that much whiskey and about that much water.
So that's what 60 ml? Is it more than a 60 ml?
Sorry?
Is it more than a 60 ml, which is the traditional large?
Well, I don't know. I'm not drinking, so I don't know. But it's about that much.
So it's about that much. Okay. That with much. A little bit of water.
But let's say if that big a glass, that much water, say.
Okay, so that's the Patiala
So the
Peg.
Australians had to suffer. And that's where the Patiala Peg started from there.
Oh, so that's where the term is coined. That's the history of the Patiala Peg.
Patiala because the match was in Patiala. The Australians played in Patiala.
Amazing. Something that you never know. Great trivia, Captain Saab. Your interest, Captain Saab, you've fed us a lovely lunch. You've always enjoyed cooking. You enjoy gardening. You enjoy writing. Is this where your interest lies away from politics? And, of course, memorabilia, because you have the best war memorabilia.
Well, that is my own regiment, most of it, or my own experience. I've got friends in those pictures who are no longer with us, but so I like to see their pictures. Sometimes when I get fed up, I go and sit there and just look around and my morale comes back when I look at the old times and what my soldiers have been through, my own regiment. Mm-hmm. I keep very closely in with my regiment. They've just come from the Siachen Glacier and they're in Barrackpur now, in Calcutta. So we are all the time together. My father was in the same regiment, my grandfather was the same regiment. So we have a third generation going through. And good old days, they were wonderful days. And that gives me a lot of happiness when I look around and see what these boys have been through and what we've achieved.
That's tremendous. Do you have any regrets, Captain Saab, when you look back? You know, it's been a while. It's been 60 years in public life.
I think the only regret I have is I shouldn't have left the army.
Really? That's a regret?
I would have... having been here also it was interesting being in politics too, particularly when I was chief minister. Then I felt I could do something, and I did do a lot. Yes. Whether people accept it or not, that's a different issue. But from my side, I did what I could, and I think I did some positive things.
No, you do, because a lot of people we speak to, most don't see you so much as a congressman, but a man who stood by his state.
Well, it is my state, and if I don't stand by my state, then it's it would be sad. Let's put it this way. A lot of people don't stand by the states. They stand by themselves.
True.
And that themselves business is what has got into Indian politics. And that's ruining us. Nobody thinks of their states and their problems. And that's why we suffer. And that's why gangsterism is coming up.
True.
That's why Pakistan tries to make use of all these sort of things to harass us and harm us.
So a regret would be that you wouldn't have left the
Sorry?
forces. Regret would be that you wouldn't have left the forces.
I shouldn't have left. But that day I only left because there was nobody left at home. My father was in Rome, ambassador. My mother was in Parliament.
And somebody had to be home.
My sister's husband had lost his leg in the war in 1965. He was in Hodson's Horse. My elder sister's husband was our ambassador in Poland. My brother was in the army, so there was nobody at home.
If an 83-year-old Captain Amarinder Singh had to give one piece of advice to a 23-year-old Amarinder Singh, what would he say?
You've just been commissioned, now make this your career.
Make this your career.
Yeah, absolutely. I would do that.
Would you have done anything differently?
I was commissioned when I was 21. So
21, at that time.
Two years service. 23, I would have been a lieutenant only. So, and that's a lovely life to be.
No regrets other than this in your personal life. Everything you've lived life on your own terms.
I have. I think I've had a very good life. I have no regrets at all. I mean, we all have to go someday, but I'll go with a feeling that I've achieved what I wanted to achieve, and I feel confident.
There's a while you're back in. There's a lot more to do. Last question, Captain Saab, because you're such a great host. If you were hosting a dinner and you could call and invite 3 guests from across the spectrum, any 3 people from across the spectrum, who would they be?
Any 3 people from across the spectrum?
Across eras, across history, countries.
Well, I think I would call my Prime Minister. I get on well with him. I would call on Mrs. Gandhi. I get on well with her. I mean, I've always been well with her. And who else would be the 4th? 3rd?
You'll have to get somebody to start a conversation because it'll be... If you have Prime Minister Modi and you have Sonia Gandhi ji sitting on the same table, you would be the only interlocutor.
Who are the 3 people who you would like to invite? Just on a social occasion.
Yeah.
Not for any discussion.
You're hosting a dinner.
Yes, these 3. The 3rd, I don't know who I'd invite. 3rd, who could I invite? I don't know. I think we just be 3 of us.
The 3 of you. Then you're playing the part of the interlocutor. Final words before we sign off, Captain Amarinder Singh. What would you want to tell our viewers? What your final words? Signing off on this interview.
What do you want me to tell your viewers?
Yeah. What do you want to say? Where do you stand today?
I stand with my party. I stand to fight for them. I start for a stable country. I think the Prime Minister is doing a good job. People may crib and say what they like, but as he's put India on the world map again, let's put it that way. I've seen lots of Prime Ministers. I've been in this government for a long time. And I think and particularly, I think what he's doing for me, personally, what he's doing for the defense services. I think that is something very important. Both the equipping, and I've been to that period when I joined my regiment, we were still using Second World War equipment.
True.
And in 1963, we only started in 64 getting better equipment after the Chinese whipped us. And now, of course, everything has changed. I mean, people may talk about the Sandur. Whatever Sandur, we've achieved what we wanted. This is what people don't seem to understand. I don't know why 4 aircraft have been shot down. What happens if 4 aircraft let 10 be shot down?
Exactly.
What was our aim? Our aim was to demolish these terrorist camps. What did we achieve? We had 2 reasons, two objectives. One was the camps. Second was to keep the Air Force under check so they didn't interfere. We demolished those 9 camps. We hit those 12 airfields. We hit two in Jacobabad and in Bhavalpur, the 2 F-16 hangars. How many aircraft were inside, one doesn't know. We've achieved everything. We've achieved what we wanted. And you say 5 casualties. What 5 casualties? Do you know that the Battle of Somme was fought on the 1st of July, 1916? In one day, how many British soldiers were killed? 57,416 in one day on the 1st of July 1916. That's casualties. 5 aeroplanes are not carrying, another 5 be destroyed as long as you achieved what you wanted.
Your target. Captain Saab, that way you're right. You should have stayed in the army. It's amazing how passionate you are when you talk about the forces, when you talk about operations. When I look at your walls decorated with army, with memorabilia, it's just amazing. You're right there. But thank you for taking the time out.
Thank you, Preeti.
Like I said, it's not done. I'm going to come back and closer to elections.
Welcome.
Closer to elections, and we'll speak again.
Yeah, of course we will.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay,
Captain
thank
Saab.
you very much, Preeti. Thank you. Bye-bye.